Hello, everyone, and welcome to some Glitter Goddess Yoga. I'm Trent, and today we'll be doing some grounding restorating yoga. Feel free to have, not feel free. Let's keep some water by our sides to stay hydrated. We want to, if you have any props and pillows and cushions you would like to add on to your practice today, feel free to bring that in. I got some pillows and a blanket there. If something doesn't feel right for you or part of your practice, feel free to take a child's pose, take a little break, take a little walk away from your mat, take a sip of water. And we can't see you, so I can't see a person through the screen, so do what feels natural and good for your body. So also, just a few announcements before we get started. We're asking our community to Venmo to evloves./New York to continue preparing and distributing the portions to New York. They have a website you guys can visit, and it's www.evloves.newyork/support. So yeah, you can check those guys out. And with that being said, we're gonna get started. So I'm just gonna adjust the camera just a bit. Sorry about that. All right, so we're gonna get started. And you can find your way onto your mat. I'm just gonna continue. Also, please excuse the noise. There's construction going on, so if you hear any sawing or banging, that's where that's coming from. So, today, we're gonna sit comfortable on our mats. Sitting up nice and tall, spine reaching nice and long. Being mindful of the breath, inhaling what you need, and exhaling what you don't. Relaxing the shoulders. And slowly on your last exhale, we're gently gonna drop the head to the right side, right ear to the right shoulder, engaging with the left sides of our neck. Breathing through your sensations here, being mindful of the breath. And with control, We're just going to roll the head forward, bringing the chin towards the chest, stretching the backs of our neck. And with control, slowly rolling the head towards the left side, left ear to left shoulder, engaging with the right side of our neck. Breathe in through your stretch here. And slowly rotating the head back to center. And with control, rolling the head to the right or left side, rolling it all the way around, engaging with all the muscles in our neck. Breathing through your stretch here as well. And reverse your rotation. And slowly bringing your rotation to stillness, bringing the head back to center. And from here, we're gently just going to roll the shoulders back, opening up the chest, opening up the throat. And tucking the palms inside towards the armpits, and we're just going to rotate the elbows up and back in a circular motion. And leading with the pinkies, we're going to rotate the arms big in a giant circle. And slowly bringing your rotation of stillness. And we're going to bring the arms up in front of us long, stretching them out long. And we're going to rotate the wrists. And reverse your rotation. Go in the other direction. And And slowing down in your rotation, we're going to flip the palms. We're going to place the palms into the floor, stretching our wrists, engaging with the forearms. Feel free to add some heat to the forearms to ease up on the tension. And you continue with that pattern for a few minutes. And then we're going to flip the palms. Flipping the palms, we're going to place the backs of our palms into the floor. Still engaging with our wrists and our forearms, our back sides. And flipping the palms once more. Stretching out the forearms once more. And on your last exhale, you can release. You can give the wrist a little shake or bring them together for a figure eight. And you can release the palms. And however you want to get there, we're going to slowly make our way into tabletop. If you have any cushions or pillows or blanket that you want to use to support the knees at this time, you can do so. Also take a sip of water. You want to stay hydrated. And coming to all fours, I'll actually turn this way so you can see me. So coming to all fours. Making sure we're sat, shoulders stacked above the wrist, hips stacked above the knees. We're going to inhale, tucking in the hips, slight lift of the chin, engaging with the lower back. For cow, exhaling, pushing through the floor, pushing through the upper back. For cat, inhaling, tilting the hips, slight lift of the chin, engaging with the lower back. And exhaling, pushing through the floor, pushing through the upper chest. For cat. And feel free to do a couple cat cows on your own. finishing up on your last cat or cow, bringing the spine back to neutral. We're going to keep the hips where they are. We're going to rise up the right arm, opening up the right side, and keeping the hips where they are here. And we're just going to dive the right arm under the left, bringing the right shoulder down into the floor or your mat. And breathe into your twist here. Breathe into your sensations. And on your last exhale, we'll slowly make our way back into tabletop. And coming back to tabletop, we're going to do the same on the other side. So lifting up the left arm, opening up the left side, keeping the hips where they are. We're going to dive the left arm down under the right arm, dropping the left shoulder into the floor or your mat. Breathing through your twist here. Breathing through your sensations. And on your last exhale, we'll slowly make our way back into tabletop. Coming back into tabletop, we're going to bring our big toes to touch. We're going to widen our stance just a little bit. And we're going to sit the hips down and back, stretching the arms out nice and long. For our first child's pose, and still keeping this child pose, we're just going to crawl both hands over to the right side, stretching the left side body. If you have any pillows or cushions you would like to utilize during the child's pose, please feel free to do so at this time. And slowly with control, we're gonna crawl both hands over to the left side. And slowly with control, crawling the hands back to center and adjusting your child's pose. So if you want to go wider in your child's pose, you can feel free to do so. Or if you want to bring your knee a little bit closer for more support, more tucked in, that's also an option as well. But going into your child's pose, and slowly with control, when you're ready, we're going to make our way back into child's pose. Excuse me, back into tabletop. Coming back at the tabletop, making sure we're stacked, shoulders stacked above the wrist, hips stacked above the knees. And we're just going to extend the right leg long, tucking the back toes. And we're just going to pulsate that back ankle, engaging with the whole right leg. And you can bring this right leg back to meet the left. And we're going to extend the left leg long, tucking the back toes. And we're going to do the same with the left leg, pulsating that back ankle and engaging with the whole left leg. And with control, we're going to go into your plank. Going into your plank, excuse me. So if you bring this right leg to meet the left, you can go into high plank. For a modification, you can lower the knees towards the floor, but keeping the core nice and strong. Or you can move down to the forearms. But whatever plank you decide to do, feeling strong in your plank, engaging with the core, breathing through the sensation, because we're slowly, with control, going to lower down towards the floor or your mat. Lowering everything down towards the floor. And we're going to lay the left ear down on the floor. We're going to go post the left arm, and we're going to pillar this right arm, rising up the right leg. We're going to place it over to our left back space for a twist. And with control, we're slowly going to bring this right leg back to meet the left. And we're going to rotate the head, lying the right ear on the floor. We're going to go post the right arm. And we're going to pillar the left. Rise with the left leg. We're going to place it over to our right back space for a twist on the other side. And on your last exhale, we're slowly going to bring this left leg back to meet the right. And we're just going to rest here a moment. And bringing your awareness back to the body. Bringing some awareness back to the body. And we're going to place the hands on the outsides of our armpits, pushing into the floor, rising up the chest and the chin, going into your up dog or cobra or baby cobra. And slowly, with control, lowering yourself back to the floor or your mat. With control. Again, tucking the palms to the floor, elbows facing towards the back or behind you. Pushing into the floor, rising up into up dog or cobra or baby cobra. Engaging with the lower back. And with control, slowly lowering down towards your mat. Again, once more, tucking the palms, and we're going to push into the floor, rising up into up dog or cobra or baby cobra. From here, we're going to tuck the back toes, rising the knees off the floor, pushing the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. Feel free to have a slight micro bend in the knees. Pedal the feet. And with control, we're going to walk the hands towards the feet. Hanging heavy here. And this forward fold. And keeping the knees bent, we're slowly, with control, going to rise all the way up to standing. And once you reach the top, we're just going to rotate the shoulders back. Opening up the chest. Opening up the throat. And you can relax your shoulders. Open up the palms wide by our sides. Feeling grounded into the floor. All corners of the feet pressing into the floor. Feeling strong here. Inhaling, rising the arms up above our heads. Extend the mountain pose. Exhaling, mountain pose, arms by our side. Inhaling, rising the arms up. Extended mountain pose. From here, we're going to swan dive down, hinging at the hips. For a forward fold. Slight micro bend in the knees. Inhaling, straightening the legs, pressing on the shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, pressing on the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling one more time, pressing on the shins. Exhale, forward fold, bending the knees, belly on top of thighs, pressing the hands into the floor. We're just gonna crawl into your high plank. So if that means modifying your plank, Moving down to the forearms and lowering the knees down towards the floor. We're feeling strong in your plank. With control, slowly lowering down towards the floor or your mat. Chaturanga. Rising up into up dog or cobra. And tucking the back toes. Pushing the hips up and back. Rising the knees up. For another downward facing dog. And with control, we're going to rise up the right leg, bend the right knee, and we're going to float that right knee towards the chest and gently drop the knee between the palms, going into your pigeon pose. If you have pillows or blanket, you can take this time to use your props to plop them onto your thigh, like so, for some cushion. We're going into your pigeon pose. Breathing through your stretch. Excuse me. Being mindful of the breath. And on your last exhale, if you have props, you can slightly move them to the side. But coming out of your last cycle of breath, we're just gently going to bring this right leg back to meet the left. We're going to tuck both the toes, rising the knees up, pushing the hips up and back for a downward facing dog. And from here, we're going to rise up the left leg, bend the left knee, and we're going to float that left knee towards the chest and gently drop the knee between the palms, going into your pigeon pose on the other side. And just like we did on the right side, if you have any pillows, cushions, or props that you would like to use to support yourself, for more comfortability. On your last exhale, we'll slowly come out of your pigeon pose. You can remove your props and cushions. And we're just slowly going to bring this left leg back to meet the right. Bring the big toes to touch. We're going to sit the hips down and back for another child pose. Come out of your last exhale, slowly with intention, making our way to our sits bones. Feel free to use this time to take a sip of water. We'll come into our sits bones, sitting up nice and tall, stretching the arms out nice and long, using the core or your core, and slowly lowering yourself down to the floor without straightening your legs, engaging with the core. And once you reach the floor, you can windshield wipe the knees back and forth. And slowly bringing the rock into stillness. We're just going to open up the legs wide, bringing the feet together like a prayer for incline butterfly. Now, if you have pillows and cushions and props you would like to utilize for this pose here, you put each cushion under the thigh to support, if that's something you would like to do. And with control, we're slowly going to straighten the left leg, keeping the right leg where it's at. The left palm, we're going to grab the outside of the right knee, and we're going to place it over into our left front space for a twist. And your last exhale, slowly releasing the right leg back to meet the left. And keeping the right leg straight, we're going to bend the left knee. And with the right palm, we're going to grab the outside of the left knee and place it over to the other side for a twist on the other side. And on your last exhale, you can release the left leg back to meet the right. And we're going to curl up into a little ball. Bringing the knees towards your chest or your belly. On your last exhale, you can release all of your limbs back into the floor or your mat. And just lying here in Savasana, corpse pose. Wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, bringing some movement back to the rested body. A relaxed body. And roll into the right or left side for a moment of comfort, and then pushing up onto our sits bones for 4 closing breaths. When you're ready, meeting me in a comfortable seat on your sits bones, placing the palms atop of the knees, placing both palms atop of the heart or at heart center, ending for 4 closing breaths. A breath for our ancestors who was here before colonization. Breathing in, a breath to thank yourself for your practice today. Breathing in, a breath to thank others for their support. Breathing in, a breath for our virtual yoga community and the growing of that community. Breathing in, the loving human in me bows down to the loving human in you. Namaste. And thank you for practicing with me for today's restorative grounding session. Okay. Thank you everyone for who joined in for today's session. Just have a few more announcements before we go. Again, we are the Glitter Goddess Collective. Also, shout out to Providence, Providence Libraries for making these Providence Community Library, for making these classes happen for you guys. So big shout out to them. Big thanks to them. You can send us feedback to theglittergoddessescollective.org. Check out our website. And yeah, classes are on Fridays from 9 to 10 and Tuesdays, I believe, at 4 p.m. Yeah, with that being said, thank you for joining me today. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.